After the Civil War, a period in American history known as Reconstruction began. That is a part of the focus of the second gallery of the museum. Congress passed the 13th Amendment, which banned slavery, the 14th Amendment, which granted citizenship to blacks, and the 15th Amendment, which granted black men the right to vote. Mississippi had to rewrite its constitution in order to rejoin the United States, and delegates were elected from across the state to draft the document in what is now the old Capitol. This was the first time African Americans were involved in the political process in the state, and what emerged is known as the 1868 Constitution. African Americans began running for political office as sheriffs, city council members, and state legislators. When Mississippi rejoined the Union in 1870, the state legislature elected Hiram Revels to the United States Senate, becoming the country's first African American senator. Later, John R. Lynch would serve as the Speaker of the Mississippi House of Representatives. This was a period of remarkable achievement. At least 226 black Mississippians held public office during Reconstruction. This period of success did not last long. Although African Americans had begun to create their own institutions, such as schools, churches, and in the case of Mount Bayou, Mississippi, their own towns, blacks were systematically removed from the political process. White Mississippians used violence and intimidation to prevent blacks from exercising their rights. Behind me are monoliths commemorating the known lynching victims through the beginning of the 20th century. Mississippi had the most lynchings in the United States from 1882 to 1968. This was the beginning of the Jim Crow era, a period in which states enforced racial discrimination and segregation through laws and customs. Journalist Ida B. Wells published numerous pamphlets documenting the injustice of lynching. During the 1875 election, Congress abandoned the Reconstruction Project in Mississippi, and whites successfully wrested political control of state government from black officials through a campaign of violence. Organizations such as the Ku Klux Klan and the Red Shirts prevented blacks from casting their votes. The number of black voters in the state would continue to decline through the end of the century. In 1890, the state legislature crafted a new constitution that sought to remove African Americans from the political process. There was only one black delegate present at the Constitutional Convention. The 1890 Constitution instituted new barriers to black political participation, such as literacy tests and poll tax.